my design is a cell phone, one that is much more abnormal than the one that you're probably carrying in your pocket now. The typical design, as you probably guess, for everyone lately, is a rectangle that you just keep in your pocket. But my design strays from that normal design quite a bit. First of all, before I go into this, I was given a question, a problem to fix. One of my friends had posted on Facebook that her phone had broken because she dropped it. And I realized, you know, this is a problem that a lot of people face. A lot of people commonly drop their phones because, you know, we're all kind of klutzy. So, and these tiny designs, these little rectangles, are kind of hard to hold sometimes. Take, for example, the iPad. That thing you can just throw it as a frisbee most of the time, but it's very difficult to grasp. So I thought, okay, what can I make that would not only be ergonomic and very easy to hold, but also prevent itself from dropping and breaking, or at least slow its rate of fall. So my first ideas were around the line of parachutes. I looked into what NASA does to stop their items from dropping to Earth too fast, and they all seemed like great ideas, but not feasible. If I had a parachute on the back of my cell phone, I would have to pack it every time that I finished dropping it, and it would just be a toy, really. So I started looking to nature and what it had to say about stopping something from falling to Earth. So I came across the maple seed, which was a design that naturally occurs and already is trial tested after millions of years, that it would just work. So I started playing around with the design a lot more, and the idea in my head, and worked on, I don't know how well you can see this. This is a sketch that I took from one of my books of the functions that I was working on in my head, how your hand would hold the device, how you would switch it in angle and direction for changing its use, whether it's a media device. If I could hold that for a minute, I could show it. If this is the phone, this is Maple, and if I wanted to just simply handle it, mind you, this is a much larger scale, this is hard to fit in your pocket, it wouldn't work. So this is something that I would hold here, my thumb, imagine this is my thumb, would just move around and touch on this touch screen here. This is the camera, oriented on both sides. It has facial recognition software inside of it, so you can identify, it's an ambidextrous device, so you can handle it right-handed and left-handed, and the eye itself identifies who you are, what you're doing, and why you need this. You rotate it using the gyroscope located within the device, and I'll show the skeleton in a minute. You can identify whether you want it to use as a media player, as your screen, note the wide screen, and dialing, or texting. And it's an easy to grip device. So I wanted to play with that ergonomics. There you go, thank you very much. So, let's see, to zoom in on some of the sketching, I compared first the Droid, or the Apple iPhone, and the Maple, and how its design would eventually prevent its destruction. So I looked into the science of it, the aerodynamics of it, and started working with how the design would work. I thought, perhaps I'll have a wing, this was my first prototype, that could pop out and, in the event of a drop, and the gyroscope would identify that it's falling to Earth, and you would actually be able to geolocate this thing with the device's GPS enabled software. So that first idea was scrapped, as if this activated in your pocket when you fell, it would rip your pants, and also perhaps hurt your hand, or just, you know, create an incident. So I started perfecting the design and decided to make the entire phone itself the wing, and that opened up the possibilities a lot more. So I'll open this up. This is how my initial sketches looked for dialing with the cell phone, texting with the cell phone. I'll give you some better images. Here is what it looks like when you're dialing. Kind of, you can see the xylem and stuff. The little plant life kind of growing out of the stem of the plant, out of the seed, and sort of creating these buttons that you can press and seem very natural to the touch. Mind you, the screen is translucent. It's made of OLED technology, which is a flexible screen technology that's also transparent, and very, very good resolution on those, and the science is getting better each day. This is what it would look like if you were texting. You would hold the device in your hand and use it just as you do with your normal cell phone, only the entire thing is a touchscreen. So now I'll go into what I set up specified parts to the phone. There would be a power button, of course, a camera. To activate the phone and unlock it, you run your finger along the side of the screen and it kind of comes to life. And the actual battery technology that I started brainstorming into this was something more around the lines of what we see in the near future with resonance technology, where every electronic device in this room has a resonance quality. And so that resonance actually can power a device with the proper installed feature. So you would never have to plug your phone in typically. Now, mind you, this does have a magnetic recharge station on the bottom. I began creating models in SketchUp, as you see here. And I created a 3D model. I'll show you real quick what that is. And this is the actual see-through skeleton model. This is what it would look like on the inside. Here's the antenna, the CPU, the SD card, the battery, and all of the different dynamic parts. This is what it looked like inside SketchUp. I started creating models of what it would look like as it fell, and that inspired me to play around with SketchUp a little bit more and create a short little presentation video, a little flash thing. It's actually a little slideshow that you can create inside SketchUp itself, and started toying around with that. And it kind of seemed like a good thing to add to an advertisement on, say, the side of a website or something like that in a flash animation. And that's called the maple falling test. I employed that same structure in a couple of my presentations later. Of course, with Maslow's theories, I created a structure to keep my stuff safe. So I made a museum to display my art or my design, and then I made it in SketchUp. I started with a nice floor plan, and then I built up from that floor plan and created an interior, an exterior, and then more advanced designs for the cell phone itself. And let's see, where we go from here. I started working with how it would be advertised. So what I did was I created a small magazine advertisement which depicted it in a sort of groundworks, working way up with the blueprints kind of design, showing my sketches and providing some minor banter from Consumer Reports, New York Times, Computer Digest and such. And then I was asked to create a better design for this particular project, and so I created an actual museum to house the project. And working from there, I developed an internal structure which showcased my entire idea, gave it a label, gave it a name, and put my face on it. Began creating the inside structure, built it to code, which was a lot of fun, because SketchUp's very good for that. And then began posting my scans of my illustrations and also my 3D architecture in the structure itself. And as we progress, that is the final structure right there. That's what I have as of now in the digital design of Maple. Now, the model that you're passing around right now is made out of paper mache, and that is a project that Karen Jimenez suggested that I make as a tangible item that could be passed around and understood. Sorry, this thing is trying to connect to the internet. Okay, we'll
just a little bit.
But, all right, I'll finish up here by going in here and showing you real quick. This is how I created the device. Cleaned up my room first, and then created a skeleton made out of cardboard and started giving it a rib design, and then filled that rib design with newspaper and paper mache, and then began building the frame, constructed the board that it sits on, used mini wheats because I ran out of materials, and blow dried the paper mache, and that's it. Thank you very much for watching.